Kendrick Lamar, rapper, songwriter, producer. He's one of my favorite rappers, holding one of the most impressive catalogs of this generation. He's seen as the Tupac or Biggie of the 2010s, and he holds his idols highly, wearing them on his sleeves with honor. His predecessors walked so he could run, and let me tell you, he is running fast. If you've listened to practically any of his songs, you would know that he grew up in Compton, California during the 90s. He made it out of there, and instead of letting the fame and money change him, he continues to go back and give back, crediting Compton for raising him and making him the man that he is today. In my last video, I ranked all of Kanye West's songs, and it received a lot of attention, which was wild to me, so thanks to everyone who watched that video. I ran a poll in my community tab asking who you'd like to see me do next, Kendrick Lamar or Tyler the Creator, and Kendrick won with 60% of the votes. It was also the top comment suggestion on the last video, so thanks, okay. In the last video, I mentioned that I think ranking music is whack, and I still stand by that. I think it's more important for one to simply enjoy the music for what it is, and not focus on labeling it in a list or with numbers. Like, I see some people saying, oh, this album is a 7.45 out of 10, or this album is a 9.6 out of 10. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but my take on it is just to experience the trip it takes you on. Fall into the narrative or the story the artist is portraying, and don't worry about it being either an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. Obviously, you do what you want to do, and it's clear a lot of people like to do that. But what I want to do right now is exactly that, to rank some music, so I thought it'd be cool to do it again. Today, I will be ranking from worst to best every Kendrick Lamar song from his 4 studio albums, including Untitled Unmastered, which is like a DLC to To Pimp a Butterfly. It's like 8 tracks that I guess weren't finished or didn't fit the main arc of the album, so it's basically T-Pab's leftovers. I will not include any of his old mixtapes like Overly Dedicated, and I won't include the Black Panther soundtrack, just Kendrick Lamar's official studio albums. One last thing. Kendrick has 2 songs that have remixes to them that in my opinion are very similar to the original. The only changes are a few new features and bars. And I see them as the same song, so I won't name them on this list, but they're very closely linked to where I'll place their originals. So let's start with Dead Last. Tammy's song, Her Evils. I consider this to be Kendrick's worst song. Kendrick tells the story of 2 women in relationships, but they both later find out that both of their men aren't loyal, so they just help each other out. I mean, I guess I like the story he tells. It matches well with Section 80's overall theme, but the sound is just so butt. Untitled 04. I'm placing this towards the bottom of the list because it's kind of like an interlude and it doesn't compare to the rest of his discography. This isn't really a song. It's more like being tied down to a chair with different voices circling in your head saying random stuff. Having a hard time. Blood. I wasn't even going to include this on the list because it's not even a song. This is just Kendrick talking about how he went up to an old lady, tried to find something that she lost, and she ends up shooting and killing him. He leaves it up for interpretation on who this woman is, Lucifer, but I just want to establish that I would rather listen to Kendrick talk for 2 minutes than Tammy's song. Chapter 10. This sounds like a little jingle that you would hear on late night Cartoon Network or Adult Swim or something. Alright, those 4 are the only tracks by the man himself that I would consider bad. They are skips. Everything from here on have some sort of positive aspect to them. Black Boy Fly. I understand why this is a bonus track because it's low-key mid. I just can't mess with this song, man. The little high-pitched teenager puberty voice irks me. Absol's outro. This track basically just feels like Untitled Unmastered, but less good. Cushion Corinthians. I don't really know BJ the Chicago Kid, but he sounds really good on this song. He almost reminds me of Anderson .Paak a little bit. Chapter 6. This is a really laid-back track where you can just vibe out to. It almost sounds romantic, if you know what I mean. Real. This and Black Boy Fly are what I consider to be Good Kid, Mad City's only sins. The Real is talking about having a real purposeful life after being baptized into Christ. The chorus can be a little daunting by sounding almost a bit whiny. It's an okay song, even if it's on the longer side. Okay, those were the only songs that I consider to be okay. They're tolerable, like I feel neutral towards them. I can listen to them on some occasions, but they're not typically in my rotation often. But this is what they mean about Kendrick being one of the greats. All the songs I mentioned are what I believe to be his subpar songs. Look at the timestamp in his video. Everything else from this point on are good songs, if not better. For Sale, interlude. Kendrick raps about the idea that once an artist makes it big, all their problems will go away. He reveals that the character Lucy he keeps talking about is really the devil Lucifer. It's a good song. Poetic Justice. This is a little lovey-dovey song which I believe is about Shireen. And who could play a better feature on this than the light-skin himself, Mr. Aubrey Drake Graham. Untitled 06. I'm sorry for this placement. I can't explain.
I'm so determined to blow that you hear the music.
Poor man's dreams, his vice. The title kind of has a double meaning, talking about poor man's dreams and problems while also alluding to the situations Edgar Allan Poe depicted. The song itself is nice, I like it.
When I close my eyes, I see the distance.
Untitled 05. I feel like I should like this song more than I do, but I don't like this song as much as I feel that I should.
Imperfections. I be constantly stressed.
No Makeup, Her Vice. This song almost gives me pop vibes, like I'd hear this on the radio or something. Anyways, despite the population's consensus on this song, I like it. Here, Kendrick expresses his personal attraction to all natural girls with no makeup. Lust. Kendrick looked up generic rap-type beat on YouTube, hit reverse, and started spitting on one of the 7 deadly sins and overarching themes of the album. You gotta give props to the little high-pitched British boy in the song, man.
I know those that's unreal. I know every.
Mama. This is a good song talking about the perseverance and growth Kendrick went through for dealing with Lucy, or Lucifer.
And Lord knows.
Keisha's song, Her Pain. Here, Kendrick talks about the tragic life of Keisha, a prostitute who was SA'd and killed. He made this song for his little sister to address the pain some women go through when resorting to prostitution in order to make a living, discouraging her from following this path. He's not demeaning prostitutes in the song, he's just shedding light on the damage it can do to women. Although the message behind this song is amazing, I just don't love it sonically. F Your Ethnicity. Kendrick's first song on his first album advocates for the banishment of race being the division between people. This is definitely the only time he raps about this topic, yep, just this once. Untitled 02. The beat drop at 2:22 got me looking like Pops who did the who farted face. You ain't gotta lie, Mama said. Kendrick, or his mama, says not to lie in order to gain respect from others or for selfish gain. My mama said to take out the garbage before 5, so I better get on that right now.
I feel like
Feel. This song has Kendrick dealing with a lot of negative emotions and feelings, including how no one is praying for him. Hey man, I feel you for real, you know? Okay, those songs were, yeah, they were good songs. Good, likable, well thought out, well coerced, put together songs. We like those. But these next ones are great. These next ones are nice. High Power. Great song. It's Kendrick doing his thing, talking about how racism equals bad. Also, the power in the title is supposed to mean we are. I'm pretty sure I read it on Genius or something. Untitled 07. That little kid that says, Compton is where I'm from. Yeah, give that boy a raise. God. This really do what God feel like. Untitled 03. Kendrick has many minorities of different races give him advice on how to live life, but when asking the white man, he just takes a piece of Kendrick benefiting from his talents. His rapping towards the end goes crazy. Compton. I haven't mentioned a Good Kid Mad City song in a while, and that's how big of a gap I think those other tracks are compared to the rest. This song is great, and the outro is nutty. How Much a Dollar Cost. This song has one of my favorite messages any song could have. Kendrick encounters a homeless man who begs him for $1, annoying Kendrick. Spoiler alert, the homeless man ends up being God, and Kendrick just lost a spot in heaven. ADHD. A good song about drug abuse with a dreamy beat.
You looking at me like it ain't a receipt, like I never made.
For free, interlude. From the skit to the production and all the metaphors, this song is just great.
You down when you down beyond bars hurt.
Mortal Man. This track has 2 parts. The first being a song, and the second being a conversation between Kendrick and Tupac Shakur. I'm pretty sure Kendrick took clips of Tupac and made it a cohesive conversation where they talk about racism, culture, and much more. This track is great with a lot of different messages that I won't delve too deep into. But we also get to hear the complete poem Kendrick kept hinting at the end of most songs on this album to get the full picture of what he's been dealing with.
Keep it 100, I'd rather you trust me.
Love. I commented on the music video when it came out and was my only like. Complexion, a Zulu love. This song states that beauty standards shouldn't be based on color. It should be based on me. I'm the ideal man.
She didn't tell, just get
Shireen, aka Master Splinter's daughter. Besides being one of my favorite song names, I like this song because Teenage Kendrick is really trying to get this girl Shireen. He takes his mom's van, which is the album cover, and drives to her house, but gets jumped by her 2 cousins, spiraling towards the rest of the album's narrative. Hold up. I lived my 20s at 2 years old, the wiser man. Truth be told, I'm like 87. Yeah, man, me too. I'm probably like 40 or something, probably.
Now, Landish, I'ma show you how to make it all.
Now or never. This song feels like going to church on a beautiful Sunday morning.
This fucking parasite, he dead.
Rigor mortis. This is Kendrick's rap god. These walls. Basically, in this song, Kendrick gets revenge on a criminal who's stuck behind prison walls for killing his friend by using money and fame to get inside his girl's walls. A lot of wordplay in this one as per usual. Pride. The intro to this track is one of the most beautiful things my cochleas have ever heard. Like, if you ask me what my favorite sounds in the world are, the intro to this song is up there. B Don't Kill My Vibe. Safe and valid song on the aux. And like I mentioned before, you can count the Jay-Z remix to go here too. Institutionalized. I drew Snoop Dogg and he reposted it on his Instagram story, meaning we're basically on a first name basis, meaning I'm basically best friends with Kendrick, meaning I basically performed at the Super Bowl. Humble. Kendrick's most popular song. When this song came out and it was playing on every station, I learned every word, every bar, every lyric, and now it's engraved in my cranium more than anything else. But it still slaps. It has yet to grow old, I'm telling you. Blow My High, members only. Kendrick pays homage to Aaliyah and samples her. Rest in peace. I. The album's version is miles better than the single. This track also won the best rap song and performance of 2015. It's basically a victory song where Kendrick proudly exclaims finally finding love within himself. Okay, those were great songs, but this last section of the video is dedicated to the absolute top tier Kendrick songs. These next ones are perfect songs, and there is not a fraction of a critique that I can think of for them. These are my favorite songs by my favorite rapper. Alright, I used to crank this song so much on YouTube Music freshman year of high school before I had a Spotify subscription.
30 million later, know the feds watch.
Element. This song has one of my favorite music videos ever! Go watch it if you haven't for some reason. The cinematic choreography is crazy. Every shot looks like a painting. This is one of my favorites, and don't look for my comment, by the way. Money Trees. Most of y'all might think that TikTok ruined this song, but you'd be wrong! DNA. Remember the song Alright a few placements back? A Fox News reporter didn't like the song and blamed rap to be worse than racism for black teens. This dude Kendrick sampled the news reporter and rapped over it like crazy. He also got Don Cheadle for the video. King Kunta. I love the bubbly groove of this track. Untitled 01. Super underrated track. Loyalty. The sample to this song is so random, but it works. He took Bruno Mars's 24K Magic, reversed it, sped it up, slowed in reverb, 432 hertz, put it upside down and got Rihanna rapping on it. Good Kid. This song takes place after Kendrick gets jumped. He knows he's a good kid and realizes he needs to get out of the hood. Pharrell Williams' chorus is hypnotizing. Swimming pools, drink. An amazing anti-alcohol anthem. You. The better half of I, but more depressing. Yeah. This was my most streamed song of 2020. The Recipe. The sample is majestic, and the Black Hippie remix can go here too. Ronald Reagan era. This is my favorite song on Section 80.
Johnny.
XXX. Little Johnny better be watching this video right now! Okay, here are my top 10 Kendrick Lamar songs. Ranking these songs from one of the greatest rappers of all time was harder than the rare Woolbox on the cold island.
Colors we didn't like to start interrogating.
The Art of Peer Pressure. This song shows a perfect example of the album's title and can really settle with a lot of teenagers today. He's a genuinely intelligent and good kid, but when he's out with his friends, he finds himself doing things he's never thought of doing. Kendrick narrates a night out with the homies, getting into a heap of trouble, starting with speeding, smoking, drinking, then jumping people and robbing houses. He's internally battling how he's better than this, and deep down he knows this is wrong, but falls into the art of peer pressure. The Blacker the Berry. This is easily Kendrick's most aggressive song. This song is a culmination and reflection on a lot of this seemingly never-ending racial tension prevalent in society today. The lyrics are seriously in-depth and definitely takes multiple listens to fully encapsulate and digest what he's passionately saying here. Kendrick seems to be portraying the mindset of a young black youth attempting to navigate and make sense of all this racial injustice. He's also saying that not only is there evil police officers abusing their power, but because there is so much black on black crime, it makes him the biggest hypocrite ever. He puts everything out on the table, not sugarcoating anything, saying it as blunt as it gets, and there is so much being said all compacted into this song. I couldn't even begin to explain all the intricacies and incredible lines this track has to offer. It's a perfect song, and it amazes me how he's managed to make some that are even better. Backseat freestyle. On this one, Kendrick is just having fun. He's in the backseat of a car with the same friends from earlier from The Art of Peer Pressure, freestyling and saying outrageous things. This song goes so hard and it's just a classic Kendrick banger. Hood Politics. This is one of my favorites off of To Pimp a Butterfly, and I don't think it's talked about enough. And my favorite line is, "Ain't nothing new but a flu of new Demo Crips and Rebloodicans." Fear. This amazing song has 3 verses. The first verse has Kendrick rapping about his fears as a 7-year-old, getting beaten and whooped for a lot of things like not doing his homework, or getting his Jordans dirty, having the TV volume too loud, eating all the pizza, or breaking a video game. The second verse has Kendrick rapping about his fears as a 17-year-old, like dying walking back home from the store, dying because witnesses falsely accused him, dying trying to defuse 2 people arguing, or just dying because of his race. And the third verse has Kendrick rapping about his fears as a 27-year-old, scared of being judged, as people from all over the world now hold him up with extremely high esteem and standards. Every word he'll say reflecting on his family and city, every move he'll make can be seen trickling down generations. He has fear of losing creativity, loyalty, love, and so many other things, all compacted into this extremely vulnerable track. Untitled 08. This track highlights the financial difficulties Black Americans can sometimes face. It has good lyrics, and although I love the message behind some previous songs mentioned more, I simply just love the sound of this song more than anything else. It feels so old school in a new kind of way. Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst. This track is the epitome of top-tier storytelling, top-tier rapping, and just top-tier songs in general. This is one of Kendrick's crown jewels, a 12-minute 2-part song, telling a story from the perspective of different people. The first verse has Kendrick rapping from the perspective of his friend, whose brother had just been murdered. Kendrick's poetry on this song is so incredible. He perfectly portrays the emotion his friend feels, being enraged and wanting to retaliate and get revenge for the killing of his brother. He ends the verse with his friend saying, "And if I die before your album drop, I hope," and then it gets cut off by gunshots, which give me goosebumps every time. The chorus is his friend saying, "Promise that you will sing about me," which, as you can see right here, he does. Hey, do you remember the song I put all the way down at number 51, Keisha's song? The song about a prostitute, Keisha, who was tragically killed? The second verse of this song is Kendrick rapping from the perspective of Keisha's sister. She's talking about her life, being another girl damaged by the system, another prostitute who was abused, and much more. She questions Kendrick on what point he's trying to make with Keisha if he can't see through their eyes, saying he's lying to his audience, us, by telling her story, and her verse ends with her saying, "I'll live longer than you, and I'll never fade away, I'll never fade away," as her voice fades into silence, most likely implying she's a lost cause beyond saving. Kendrick's third verse is him wondering if he's done enough. He's trying to save future generations, and questions what he'll be leaving behind in this world once he passes. And all of this is just in the first half of the song. The second half, I'm Dying of Thirst, is Kendrick and his friends looking around them, the world they're living in, being awful and tragic, people dying left and right. They realize they have to get out of there, so the song ends with them getting baptized into the Holy Spirit. This song is a true work of art. It's like an audiobook that takes you into a completely different world, and it boggles my mind how he's managed to make even better songs than this. Duckworth. Here in my top 3 Kendrick songs, we have Duckworth. Kendrick tells a crazy story about a kid named Ducky working at a KFC back in the 90s. Anthony, a troubled kid, planned to rob the place. Ducky, aware that he'd previously robbed the place before, decided to get on his good side, giving him free chicken and extra biscuits every time he came by. Anthony liked him and spared him. If you haven't, listen to the song right now before I spoil the ending. Right now! But 20 years later, they meet again. How? Anthony, or Top Dog, signed a 15-year-old Kendrick Lamar to his label, not knowing that he was Ducky's son. Kendrick's storytelling on this song is one of the best ever, and the way he reveals this twist at the end is so good. Whoever thought the greatest rapper would be from coincidence? Because if Anthony killed Ducky, Top Dog could be serving life while I grew up without a father and die in a gunfight, ending the entire album. Or starting the album if you're listening to the collector's edition. Mad City. Everything about this song, the lyrics, the sound, everything encapsulates the crazy mad city that Compton is. From the iconic intro to the great beat switch and MC8's verse, this song is just great. And for the number one spot, my number one favorite Kendrick Lamar song ever of all time. Do you know what it is? Put your guesses in the comments. It is Wesley's Theory, the opening track to his critically acclaimed album To Pimp a Butterfly. The track features infusions of funk and jazz, messages about being a black man in America, and the struggles that come along with finding wealth and success. The most notable musical element is the squishy bass line provided by the legendary Thundercat, accompanied by production from Flying Lotus and Flippa. Vocals from George Clinton and Thundercat appear throughout the track, adding additional dimensions alongside recordings from Dr. Dre. All layers combine magically to create an incredible hip-hop funk masterpiece with great lyrical density provided by Kendrick. The first verse opens with Kendrick jumping back into his time in the hood before he made it big time. He's dreaming about everything he's going to buy once he gets signed, stereotypical objects in the rap game like jewelry, guns, and women. The verse ends with Lamar rapping, "Uneducated, but I got $1 million check like that," alluding to later traps he will fall into as a result of not knowing how to handle his money. After a brief refrain and chorus from Thundercat and George Clinton, Dre hops on the track, warning Kendrick that getting his bag was the easy part, but now he has to keep it. In the second verse, Kendrick raps as Uncle Sam, relentlessly badgering Lamar to buy into the consumerist machine, spending his newfound wealth on worthless items that will just leave him back to where he started. As Uncle Sam continues, we get to see just how many distractions are in the way of Kendrick holding on to his wealth, and Sam reiterates Lamar's lack of education on how to handle money. The verse closes with Sam reminding Lamar of all the taxes he has to pay on all his purchases and revealing his true motives, as the government wants Kendrick to spend frivolously in order to collect as much tax money as possible, trapping him in debt similar to Wesley Snipes. The track moves on with George Clinton reminding Kendrick how far he's come and how far he can fall if he doesn't keep his head on straight. After another refrain from Thundercat and Clinton, the track closes with Anna Wise and Whitney Alford frantically warning Kendrick about the approaching tax man ready to steal his wealth and put him back to where he started. Like all the tracks on To Pimp a Butterfly, Wesley's Theory is incredibly dense with allusions, symbolism, and messages related to the black experience in America, mainly focusing on the difficulty for Kendrick, and by extension black men, to keep his wealth in the face of numerous distractions and being woefully uneducated about how to manage money as a result of a broken system. Black superstars are often limited straight out of the hood and handed a bag of cash with little direction on how to use it, resulting in many falling back down to where they came from with little to show for it. Their expectations that all their problems can be solved once they get money are wrong, as they get thrusted into a world they know little to nothing about and lose everything. Well, that was the ranking. Obviously, this is just my opinion on one man's music. I'm just a fan of his work, and to compensate for possibly belittling such great talent by having to put it on a list, I made my best efforts to explain the brilliance behind his songs, especially for my top 10 spots. And if you wanted me to include his The Heart series, here's what category I would respectively put each part in. A big special thanks to Joey Kane, Joe Paola, and Adrian Pollock for additional help in this video. If you guys want extra music to listen to, you should definitely check out some of Joey's music. He's been behind the scenes for almost all my videos, helping me with audio, and he's even produced and performed the outro credits to my It animation. The link is in the description to his stuff. You should seriously check him out. And a big thanks for making it to the end of this video. Comment down below who or what I should rank next. It doesn't even have to be music too. If you want me to rank every Rick and Morty episode, for example, I got you covered for real. Alright, that's it. Bye.